Do you get confused between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous? They do look a little similar and can be very confusing. Maybe you've made these common mistakes. I had working hard, so I felt very tired. I had been worked hard, so I felt very tired. I had been hearing the song many times before. All of these are wrong, and I'll show you why a little later on. But don't worry, you'll be using these tenses perfectly in no time at all. Well, in about 8 minutes. First, let's take a look at the past perfect simple. We use the subject, I, he, she, they, etc. Then had plus the past participle. We'll take a look at an example. Mary went to a party. Jim went to the party too. Jim left the party early before Mary arrived. So when Mary arrived, Jim wasn't there. He had gone. Had gone is the past perfect simple. This expresses a past action that has already finished when another past action happened. So let's take a look at some great examples. When Mary arrived at the party, Jim had already gone home. When we got home last night, we found that somebody had broken into our flat. I had studied English before I moved to New York. By the time she was 10, she had traveled all over the world with her parents. We can also use the negative, hadn't. For example, the man next to me was really nervous. He hadn't flown before. Now let's take a look at the past perfect continuous. Again, we use the subject, I, you, we, they, then had been, plus the present participle. For example, doing, working, playing, etc. All with ing. We use the past perfect continuous to show that an event or action in the past was still continuing. Let's take a look at some examples. When the boys came home, they were bleeding and dirty. They had been fighting again. I was disappointed when I had to cancel my holiday. I had been looking forward to it. We can also use the past perfect continuous to express the duration of the activity before something else happens. For example, I had been waiting for 2 hours when the bus finally arrived. We had been playing tennis for half an hour when it started to rain. At the time the factory closed, Bob had been working there for 10 years. I had been studying English for a year before I moved to New York. By the time she was 10 years old, she had already been traveling all over the world with her parents for 2 years. However, there are some verbs that are not normally used in the continuous form, such as know, like, which are verbs of mental process, and hear, smell, taste, which are verbs of senses. For example, we were good friends. We had known each other for many years. So let me take you back to the mistakes that we looked at before, and you'll clearly see why they are wrong. The first two didn't have the correct form. They got mixed up using both the past perfect simple and the continuous. We need to use had plus been plus ing. So, I had been working hard, so I felt very tired is the correct form. Whereas the next one doesn't need the ing. Why? Well, remember back to how senses don't usually use the continuous form? That's this. So, I had heard the song many times before is the correct answer. Finally, let's take a look at some of these examples side by side, and you'll be able to notice the differences a lot clearer. I had eaten breakfast when the doorbell rang. I had been eating breakfast when the doorbell rang. The past perfect simple emphasizes the completion of the action, whereas the past perfect continuous emphasizes a continuing or ongoing action. Another example, she had traveled around the world before she got married. She had been traveling around the world for 2 years before she got married. The past perfect simple emphasizes the completion of the activity. The traveling finished. The past perfect continuous focuses on the duration of the activity. For example, traveling around the world for 2 years. I hope that helped. There were lots of examples that we looked at today. If you want to practice more of these, please grab the free PDF file. It has some more practice questions for you to try. The link is in the description. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, I would appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps push it out to many more people. And also, if you want to become fluent in English fast and never lose it, you need to check out this video here.